Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the market site in Times Square, we have Cokie Berenyi. She is the speaker, author, financial advisor, and she is also climbing the 7 largest summits for cancer research. Cokie, it's great to have you with us at the market site, and you're doing so many wonderful things. And right now we're focusing on your mountain climbing efforts to provide a cure for cancer. Tell us all about that, where the idea came from.
Women in finance, this industry has thankfully provided me great opportunities, and one of which is I've been alpine climbing for about 15 years. And climbing the 7 summits just sort of popped in my head one day, and one every little tiny step at a time. I'm climbing Everest next year. It's got to be bigger than me, and so I can't have the Everest conversation without also having a conversation about women reprioritizing their health. So I have a big campaign under everydayeverest.org, which is we're really encouraging women to take a health pledge to put themselves first.
What's it like training for Mount Everest? Is there a training regimen involved with it?
Well, in Charleston at sea level, it's not easy. It's not easy. It involves some very funny, very annoying breathing. So at my home gym, I had to make sure everyone's out of the house. But it involves weight vests and ellipticals, really funny big boots, and yeah, a lot of funny breathing.
I don't think I've ever met anyone who's actually climbed or going to climb Mount Everest, so I'm kind of fangirling a bit here. What are some of the other summits that you've traversed?
The tallest of which has been Mount Aconcagua, so it's the tallest peak in South America. I climb Kilimanjaro about once a year. I have an organization called She Climbs, where we take women of all ages to the roof of Africa. I've also climbed Mount Elbrus and a few others. So
we should have done an on-site location interview. That would have been a lot of fun. Let's go back to your role as a woman in finance and having been successful as that. How have you seen that role evolve over the past couple of decades?
Oh gosh, very much so. You know, I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, so breaking in as a woman in finance and what can be stodgy Charleston, which is, you know, it's the finance industry, we're still male dominated, right? Mm-hmm. I would say much so more there than in New York City. So it's changed a lot in the last 25 years since I started in the business. Technology has changed, opportunities have changed. You know, the ceiling is there. But I'm done with the glass ceiling talk. I'm done with the inequality of pay talk, and it's really just about being a woman of impact. And being a woman in finance, it's really offered me the flexibility to do that. So me breaking into climbing, which is kind of strange, A, woman, B, from Charleston, South Carolina, it's provided a lot of great conversations, a lot of great open doors, and you know, an opportunity to really expand my practice and just my experiences.
So how can we get involved with?
Thank you for asking. I'm really excited about coming back, and this is a big day for me talking with you at Nasdaq, because Women in Nasdaq, which is an amazing global organization, women and men within Nasdaq, has asked me to do a webcast in a couple weeks in November, and so we'll be talking more about Everyday Everest. So, you know, those who are interested in following me or hearing about the climb or reprioritizing their health, you know, it's really important to me that, again, the Everyday Everest conversation and me climbing Everest is not just about the mountain. It has got to go in tandem with this idea of women reprioritizing their health, because at stage 0, women have a 98% chance of survival with breast cancer, period. And so it's not about, you know, it is about cutting edge research and it is about finding a cure, but if we can catch it at stage 0 and a 98% survival rate, that's what the campaign is all about.
I agree with what you're saying, and that's encouraging, because accountability has to come into the equation at some point. And I feel like whether it's men or women, we are not accountable enough for preventative health, which not only will allow us to survive, it will also cut the costs that we put into healthcare, which we can revert those cost savings into something else.
Absolutely, absolutely, and serve our families and our employees, and you know, Nasdaq better. Our employees, our businesses better, right? If we're healthy. So it's about that balance. And so oddly, climbing Everest brings me balance to my life.
All right. Well, so excited that you're doing the webinar for us. Thank you for spending the time with me at MarketSite.
Thank you, Jill. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And thanks for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.